Hey, here we are.
Two bald guys and a microphone. And hey, welcome back. A big shout out to our good friends right here at Tom's Production Studios. Tom's Productions, you think it, he'll link it on all your printing and decorated apparel needs. He is amazing at what he does.
It's one of Tom's shirts.
There you go. It's one of Tom's shirts. I hope he knows you're wearing it. He's not. You are. And of course, our good friends over at Health Markets, Medicare supplements, health insurance. It's like Swiss cheese. It covers the bread, a lot of holes in it, and it's really confusing for people who don't know what they're doing. Give this guy a call, Kent Jones.
Kent Jones, you know Kent?
Kent Jones can help you out with Health Markets, you, your business, your family, your friends. He's licensed in a lot of different states, and if he's not, he knows somebody who is to take care of you. So give him a call at 815-861-0294. Man, what a good couple of weeks it's been. Weather is nice. School is
almost done.
Almost done.
Made it to a Memorial Day weekend of beautiful weather.
Yep. Here in the Midwest, anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And so today we're going to be talking about
relatability.
I can relate to that.
Hey,
I can too. And interesting thing, most people are not looking for the smartest person in the room. They're looking for the person that allows them to unclench.
There you go. To unclench.
I like that.
Okay.
In other words, relax. Like you're looking for people that like help you relax, that you can feel comfortable and at ease with.
When they see me in the room, they know there's somebody smarter. So like, okay, I'm sitting.
So in you guys' estimation, what makes someone relatable? Like what's one thing you can think of that instantly makes somebody relatable?
Well, Southern drawl for me, being from out west Nebraska, if I hear somebody talking with that little country twang to their voice, I'm kind of instantly relatable to that. If it's in country or western, if it can connect a little higher. But
you lived in Johnsburg for 50 years.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. We see somebody from Nebraska and we're just connected to different level.
The N on the helmet stands for knowledge. That's right.
Another kick.
That's right. I don't know, but how if I walk into a room, is somebody relatable or not? It depends what mood I'm in, I guess.
All right. Well, based on your interaction with them,
like,
is there like a certain way that they behave, or?
That's what I say. I think because sometimes it's the loud asshole.
Like you said, the loud guy. What are some other examples of if you're in a different mood that you would look and say, you know what, that feels good. Like I feel like I can be the Kent Jones that I am today.
It could be a homeless person, literally, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't, I could relate with them, right? I mean, I don't have money coming out of my ears, but it could be a homeless person. It could be, anybody really. I apologize. Our microphone keeps flipping out for some reason, but we'll get this figured out. But yeah, so it all depends, I guess. But well groomed, they might be well, look good. I'll used to be a suit and tie if somebody was in a suit and tie, but now you got to question the guy who's in a suit and tie now because it's not, it's not that acceptable or relatable.
Yeah. In the networking situation, if I'm going into some place that but I don't know. It doesn't happen very often. I went to a networking meeting in Crystal Lake one time, and I thought I had the address in my head, and it was a town where I thought it was. There was a lot of cars, and I thought, all right, this is it. And I went into the wrong networking group, but it was still a networking group, but it wasn't a chamber networking group, it was something else. And I walked in, and I didn't know anybody in there. And I looked around and finally saw one person that I knew.
Right.
So that started the conversation, and then,
Friendly face.
oh, you need to meet this person. And then it started branching out, and I actually got a few appointments out of that. I think because I didn't know anybody there was probably.
Did you actually make it to your?
No, I never did.
Never.
I stayed there for the whole. It was a great mixer. They had amazing food.
Hey,
so
once
it
you're
was like-
committed, man, don't act like you ain't supposed to be there.
Oh yeah, I was. You can imagine, right?
Yeah.
It's getting into a place. I think in the world of networking, if you go in trying to, I got something to sell, so I'm going to go sell to the people in the room. It never works. But if you go in just to make friends, right?
Mhm.
And I think to find somebody relatable, you have to be relatable. You have to be open to new conversations.
Well,
He's got a glint in his
Well-
eye, so let's.
So
bring it.
as a college coach, I go to a lot of Lucy is in high school, so I go to a lot of, and I do a lot of recruiting. And I tend to try to go sit by myself. I won't even sit by Alice. I'll try to go sit by myself, right? Because I may like somebody on the other team, right? And I don't want to be, hanging out with the hometown crowd or whatever.
Right.
However, because I'm a college coach, a lot of the parents will find their way to me,
Okay.
and they'll, why does he, I go, you got to ask, this is his program. You have to ask him, right? Or her, whatever the case may be. It's not the way that I would approach it, but I'm a college coach,
Mhm.
right? And it's a lot different for me because I get to choose my team. He gets whoever comes out, right? You get the cuts or whatever, but nobody really
Right.
makes cuts
Right,
anymore,
right.
right? So because I'm a coach, they think I'm relatable. When really I'm like, just go. I'm here. I want to watch my daughter, maybe do some recruiting. I don't want to get into all the
Right.
luck, But sometimes the person's stature, who they are, you're like, oh, that guy, that lady, she's gonna be relatable because I know a business owner.
Right. True. True.
And maybe they're not,
Yeah. That's that leads to a question. Like, so does it automatically make you relatable because somebody does the same thing as you?
No, no.
Know what he does, what he does.
Yeah, right. No, I was at an event for Alex. A little shout out to Hometown Hug. Love that woman. And some young people walked in, and when I say young, probably in their 20s, right? And they were with the laser tag place, battle, whatever. You know what I'm talking
I do.
about? Yeah. It's an incredible laser tag. It's very tactical. It's like 20,000 square feet. They got 2 stories. It's amazing. They're young and they kind of come in kind of like, oh, and I'm like, if you're here for the bar mitzvah, right, you're in the right place. The young guy, yes, and he came back quick for a young guy, and that broke the ice. But I wasn't real relatable, but I could tell they were uncomfortable. So I'm going to throw something out there. Business owners, the young, if not they run the business, I'm sure. I had to get out of there to get here, but I don't think so. Just because there's a lot of insurance people that I'm not relatable with. I mean, we have something in common, but there's no relatability.
So what are some characteristics that you think it takes for people to be relatable?
You got to go early. So.
Yeah.
You better start talking.
Oh, I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying the output. Characteristics. I'm looking for someone who's got a little sense of humor to them.
Yeah.
You know, I just negative Nellies. Why are you even here?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate networking. I know the food's always bad, and they never have anything I like to drink. Why are you here? Right? When you're out in that world, you gotta laugh a little bit. You gotta have a little bit of fun. You know, poke a little fun at somebody. But it's that humor, I think, is one of the characteristics that really stands out for me. Dry, you get some of these lawyers who, and nothing against lawyers, I think it's a great field, but there's some have a really dry sense. And then you get Sam, right? Sam shows up and it's
listen. Do you know how many hours I spent in a car with this man and Rancher Ron, rest his soul, and every other sentence was a pun.
Oh yeah.
And I know I'm not a very punny guy, right? But these guys, and I'm just sitting there like, how did they get there from there? And that's a beautiful pun. It was amazing, right?
Yeah, Ron was
and I was just like, I would sit there in silence in awe at these two as they were like punning the entire day, and that's a sense of humor. And I related with the guys, but there's no way that I can jump in and pun like that.
Right.
I mean, you were present for several of them, over the years. But,
yeah.
Ron was the master. I just fed off of him.
My gosh, it was amazing.
So you mentioned like sometimes people that they don't have the humor and they're kind of dry. Do you feel like a person has to be charismatic in order to be relatable?
That's a great question, and you're full of great questions, and we can talk a little bit while we're.
Let's hear from our sponsor.
I think charisma goes a long way, but I don't think it's. Sometimes if you do go fishing a little bit with somebody, you can find some really special things. Today, I had twice a week. I go to the place in McHenry where seniors live, and
your house.
And the other place. And one half of it is like senior living. They're there by choice, but the other half is memory care. And last month I went to the memory care for the first time, and today I went back to the memory care for the second time. They didn't remember me. Isn't that interesting? But as we started going through the process, we got the arrows, and I've made a sheet. I'll show it to you. It's got 1 inch long arrows, and there's only 4 rows, and it's great for the older people. And we're moving through it and having some fun, and they're struggling a little bit. So I just asked the question, what is your favorite memory from your childhood? And once they perked up and started talking, it was amazing. It was an amazing place to be. I have not left a place in recent history outside of the bank where I felt like I wanted to cry when I walked out. It's just these people, you listen to the stories that they do remember, and see how they're actually living today. It was really hard. The one lady is from Tennessee or Virginia, one of those states that have 2 to 3 teeth to their name, and she laughs at everything. And I said, "You must have been a lot of fun when you were young." She says, "Oh, you have no idea." So, well, tell me some of the things you did when you were young. And she shared some stories. But if I give them instructions on what to do with the arrows, they can't hold on to that instruction for even a minute. And it was just so heartwarming, that moment. And they all thanked me. Thank you for a great day. Thank you for entertaining us, telling us your stories. April never does that. But
he's heard them all.
Multiple times. When I walked out, it was difficult on me today because I felt so bad for those people, and knowing I'm not that far away from possibly going through something like that.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that. I mean, we should have you come.
Was I in that conversation?
Yeah.
But the truth is, and then they were laughing at my jokes, and they were, which is fun and great. It's great to have an
Right.
audience. I said, I'll have to come up with a new set of jokes for next time. And one of the ladies goes, no, you can tell us the same ones. We don't remember. I mean, but that was right.
You deliver every time.
Totally,
Right.
totally relatable to that.
So going back, genuineness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think people are relatable, or I can relate, but you have to be genuine, right? So we've all been in the situations where somebody comes up like, hey, I'm gonna sell you in my elevator pitch, and
Right.
you're just like, dude, I'm here, my name's Kent. How are you? Know what I mean?
I know you. I know you. I could tell
Yeah.
you your. Tell me something else.
Right. And so I think of what I always ask all my athletes, I ask all my kids' friends, I'm like, what's your story? Right.
Okay.
And they're like, what do you mean? Well, everybody's got a story. What's yours? Right. And then they open up. It's kind of the same way if I go into a room or an event or something like that is, I think you have to be genuine, understand the story, but I think the commonality also has to, like the vision or the goal has to be the same for me to be relatable.
Okay.
Right. So like at the basketball games, I'm there working because I'm scouting. Right. And, and you're there because your daughter is on the team and maybe she's the best thing in your eyes since sliced bread. And she's not working, she's not getting the time or whatever, or maybe they're losing, whatever the case may be. So the vision, I mean, you could be genuine, but the vision, I'm not there for fun. I'm there working, right?
Yeah.
I'm there representing the college, and so when I go to events, I'm there representing 216. I'm there representing health markets, the college. So whatever role I'm in, I guess you have to be genuine, and there has to be a common goal, and that goal just might be to meet each other and get to know your story, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. When he asked me what my story was, he fell asleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But truthfully, after we met, we'd be going along, and as we'd find out things about one another, it was like, check,
Yeah.
check, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we had so much in common. It's like, how have we never met before?
Right.
Which really fed into, the original playing of Two Ball Guys and a Microphone, because that really led to a lot of great conversations.
Yeah.
And then when we brought Ron in, and I said, got one more guy I'd like to bring into this, and I'd like to introduce you to Damon K. Ross.
Yeah.
And you came in, and the synergism in that show between everybody was just
you were just gonna come and watch.
Yeah.
That was the plan. They tricked me. He tricked me.
Very relatable. Very relatable.
Come see if you like it. Have this seat.
Right across the state.
Give us a quick sound check, just in case you have anything to say. Yeah.
So, as we were preparing for this, I don't know how many people you work with young people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many young people are relatable. Most people today, to me, are not relatable. Right? So, I mean, what's your take on it? You got some good questions, but what's your take on it?
Why?
Yeah.
I think because they're here all the time. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you take a look at my daughter. She's going to be a senior. She'll spend 75% of her week in her room on this or her iPad or whatever, right? Because that's the way the world is now. And if I don't like you, I can block you. I don't have to be relatable, right? So I think, as I was thinking about this, I'm like, there's so many people who aren't relatable.
Yeah.
They don't know how to relate.
Yeah.
Right? You come in and, what color are you wearing or who do you back or what's happening? And all of a sudden I hate you because, or like, whatever. I don't get to know you. There's no genuineness anymore.
Well, how much money could you make? And for any inventors out there, please do this, to create a personal cell phone blocker for your house. right? You hit that button and cell phones just wouldn't work in your house.
You force people to
Actually have a conversation. And, that AT&T would love it because people would, bring landlines back. But
you can't get on YouTube on that though.
No, you can't.
my grandson, I mean, we've had a great relationship since he was a very young man. But when I go up and pick him up at college, he gets in the car and that's where he's at. He's on Snapchat or TikTok or one of those two, or three or four.
One of the platforms,
One
or
of
all of them.
And then the last time we used to eat somewhere in between. We'd stop and have lunch. I always like to take him out to lunch, and we have great conversations during lunch. And then I figured out probably about 3 or 4 months ago when I went up to pick him up, we stopped and had lunch right there in Whitewater. And then when we came out of the restaurant, I'm like, James, why don't you drive? I'm kind of tired. So while he's driving, we had a great conversation. So now I just want to pick him up at college. I'm sitting in the passenger seat. You're driving, bud.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, how relatable are your students? I mean, you know what I mean? Or did you see?
Listen, guys, I'm going to let you carry this on. I've got a grandson who's about ready to hit a home run.
Yeah, go.
If I don't show up for that, I missed his last one. He had a home run last week. So
go get it.
So
he's right here in town.
Love you. Proud of you.
I can relate to that.
Yep. So God bless everyone. And in case they don't say, "Why God," my name is Tim Stewart. I'm Coach Papa. I do approve this message. Get off the bench and get back in the game. And you guys
don't turn it off now.
Just keep playing.
Keep rolling. Keep the B-roll.
So for me, like talking about relatability is being relatable to people, or to have people view you as being relatable, is you asking questions. You're asking those follow-up questions. Like when Coach was saying when he was at the home and people said, "Oh, when I was young, I was really excited. Tell me more." That's the thing that makes you relatable.
Got you.
So when you can do that and asking people about what their specific interests are. So like you were saying, as far as someone coming up to you coaching. So a way for someone to be relatable in their moment, hey, coach, what is it that you're looking for in a player?
Yeah.
Versus, what's wrong with that coach? Why isn't he?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Because that would get you talking, because you're like, oh, okay, now he's in my lane. And that's what I do with like the students. Like people wonder how I build such good relationships with our students, because I find out what their interests are, and then I ask them those specific questions, and I follow up. And then every time I see them, hey, tell me about. 9 times out of 10, I don't give a crap about, because I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But in order for me to be relatable to them, I ask them about those things, and then that opens the door for you to be able to share other things. And then you can find those commonalities. Right. But that entry point is by showing interest.
Yeah, that's good.
That curiosity for the other person and what they got going on.
Yeah, you're panning, those questions, you're panning for that. And then that person becomes more genuine because they feel you're interested, relatable.
And you have to be genuinely interested.
Yeah, you do.
In what they're asking, because, people can tell. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like you said, the salesy guy that's coming up throwing this pitch.
Oh,
like, buddy, I know what you're up to.
That's right. It's like the people knocking at your front door. Okay, what is it? Roof, siding, or bugs?
Right. Right. So you brought up the social media stuff earlier. Like, do you feel like people are less authentic?
I think so.
Nowadays?
Right. I've got a lot of, first of all, I don't believe I have 1,800 friends, right? Whatever, and I went through a little bit ago and I'm like, I don't even know who this person is.
Yeah.
and I, on Facebook. But what I realized is, if you go talk over your fence, you find you find people are very relatable. But if you talk through the social media app, man, you're a jerk.
Yeah.
Right. And nobody is really relatable. Right. I've got some great friends who post some things, and I shake my head because I'm like, I know that's not you, right? Yeah. But this is what you're throwing out there.
Yeah.
Got a good friend who great guy, but very angry. on
Mhm.
social media, but he's also a salesman. So I'm like, you
Okay, that's
right. So if I wanted to purchase what you're selling, I don't relate with you because you're so angry,
yeah,
right? So, but I know that's not him. Anytime that I'm with him, we have great conversations, right? But if I were just to play off social media, I'd be like, he's so angry all
so
the time.
so a question for that. Are you 100% sure that that person on the internet is not him too?
Oh, I'm
'Cause
sure it
we're
is. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it is.
because
Yeah.
we're all not, as much as we try to make it seem like it, we're not all just
No.
one thing.
Yeah,
Like,
angels.
we
Right.
have all
Right.
of these different layers, and maybe fortunately or unfortunately, that's the space where he can express that part of him that he
Yeah.
doesn't feel safe to do.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
the
we've
real
had
world.
some good conversations.
Yeah.
You know, respectful, very relatable conversations.
Yeah,
That we didn't see eye to eye on, but you know, you kind of look at it and go, man, boy, you know, and I'm thinking, you're running this business. You
yeah,
know, if Scott was here, he'd tell you, you know, I have to watch what I say because I've got all these
Yeah.
businesses, and if I upset the wrong people, my business
can
suffer.
yeah,
Right. And so a lot of that relatability. Now there are, you know, I'm sure there's a handful of people who thumb him up and, you know,
oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, yeah, you know, very relatable to a lot of people. Right. But you know, I'm like, man, I know you. And if you came at me like that at a
You
mixer
will.
or an event, I'd be like, whoa,
Right.
let me get you a drink and go away.
So
you know?
that leads me to the question of, can being relatable be a little bit inauthentic?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I say it depends what mood I'm in,
Yeah. Okay.
right? Because you know, we see each other at a restaurant, you know, you stop by my table, you know, and you know, hey, oh, hey, yeah, yeah, good. All I want to do is eat my, you know, chips and salsa and,
Right.
you know, get out of here, right?
Right.
Because I think I there's a lot of roles people play.
Yeah.
And it takes energy. So there are times where you know, hey,
Mhm.
I'm going to a wedding, and I'm not gonna. I know
Right.
some people there. I know the
Right.
people getting married, but I gotta. I'm gonna have to play this role,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You know, Alice has already said, listen, I need you to just, you know, and so you try to find that one or two other people there that you can relate to.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's watching the TV in the bar or whatever the case may be, and then you kind of hook in, right? But you're expending a lot of energy where I'm like, I'm never going to see you again, more than likely, and that's okay. It's so
Yeah.
very inauthentic,
Yeah.
right? It's like you're bad, you're the ship in the storm, and here we go. You know what I mean? Like here we go. So I know I do that a lot.
All right.
Yeah, very, and you know, and I think a lot of people, y'all have probably done this too. Like you get home, you're like, oh my god, I carried on a 2-hour conversation with this yutz, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, but at the time, I could relate.
That's yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that person you probably went home too. Is like, I can't believe I wasted 2 hours with that guy. Right? I don't know.
So do you think people build bonds more through their strengths or through common flaws?
That's a good question. My first thought is strengths,
Mm-hmm.
right? My first thought is strengths, but then you look at how negative the world is
That's yeah.
today,
Yeah.
and it's probably the opposite. Like, oh, I ain't got money, you ain't got money. Oh, my property tax high, you property tax. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's the you know, and then we're gonna bitch about it for a while. Oh, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
You know, so I you know, the old saying is, you know, you get more flies with honey. No, you get more flies with shit. You know,
And yeah.
right? You get bees with honey.
All right. So I got a follow-up question.
Yeah.
It's similar, but I want to see if you see it the same or not. So do you think people connect more through trauma or humor?
I think humor.
See, and I'm the same
I think
way.
humor.
On the
Yeah.
one side, it's like
Yeah.
the flaws. Like people connect
Yeah.
their flaws. Like this is my weakness. This is what.
But
I
you
don't
have to be able to laugh at your
And
flaw,
you-
right?
But at the same time, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, a good comedian or somebody who's funny, you know, really kind of makes fun of themselves, you know, and they point out their flaws, and you laugh and go, I can relate to that.
yeah,
Right. So I think humor for sure. As Coach said before he dipped out was, you know, he always tries to find somebody that's got that humor.
yeah,
You know, and when you MC, I use a lot of humor while I'm emceeing because I think that you get close that
you
way.
get yeah. Do you think so? Like self-deprecating, like you mentioned that. Do you think there's a point where you can go too far with that in an attempt?
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I know people who we refer to as human, you know, human parasites. They gotta find a host body to, you know.
Yeah.
I think Saturday Night Live had that skit, Debbie Downer or whatever,
Mhm.
which is hilarious. Look it up. But I think that yeah. I mean, you know that person walks in the room, you're like, oh, here we go. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's whoa, you know, there's no silver lining at all, you know.
Well, like for you, if there's somebody that is like doing a lot of self-deprecating, what are some signs that you look at to see whether like they're going too far? Like, is this like authentic? Or
How I Met Your Mother. Have you ever seen that show?
I've seen a lot of episodes.
Have you met Ted? So when somebody doing that, I'm like, have you met Coach? Slide somebody in and slowly walk back into the bushes like Homer Simpson, right? Like, okay, all right, you got laid, you know, and then you look over 10 minutes later, you know, Coach is looking at you like, you son of but now I'm at a point in life too, depending on where I'm at, is, you know, because I do ask people their story. I'll be like, man, your life can't be that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll call it out, right? Like, there gotta be something that ain't, I mean,
Right.
I know people who have cancer who aren't as miserable as you know, that, you know, they're fighting for their life. And, you know,
Yeah.
I know amputees that you get to run and, you know, you're complaining that your feet hurt, whatever. Stop running. I don't, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, there's definitely those people. And when I was young, I would just be like, you know, go ahead and dump it all over me,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. And I'd sit in it. But now I'll either have you met Ted or be like, your life ain't that bad, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Just
And it's amazing. I mean, you work with a lot of young people, and I know we got a lot of young people who are listening, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
How tough these young people, when I say young, I'm saying probably, you know, 16 to 30. That's young people to me now, right? How they're very hard on themselves and don't have a real positive self-image, you know, which I can't relate to because, you know, I tell people, I'm like, listen, I love myself so much. I don't care what photo I'm looking at. I always look for me first. Be like, oh, yep, I look good. I was doing something stupid, you know.
That's funny. No, I actually can. As crazy as it probably sounds to some people, I can relate to like not feeling good about yourself and you know, just being what's the word I'm looking for? Self-conscious. Like I was always like super self-conscious. So I can relate to people. Yeah. So I can relate. But I also, like you, I see a picture like, where am I?
Right.
So I can relate to the people.
Yeah.
I can relate to both.
That's hard.
Like,
I mean, because you're I mean, you played basketball in front of hundreds, maybe thousands of people at a time, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's interesting.
It was always that thing. Like I had like guys when I was in school, particularly I remember in grade school, like that was probably where I was like at my peak as far as like people
Yeah.
clamoring to see. Like literally, we would go to different schools and people would come up like, "Hey, where's number 30? Oh, hey, we hear you're awesome. The guys are on our team." Like these are the kids from the other school.
Right.
And this is like a small Lutheran school league in the greater St. Louis area. You know, we had a north and south side teams, large and small school division. Yeah. So it was a, you know, pretty good network and whatnot. But yeah, we go to places and I would go like, no, me and this guy are the best. Cause I just, I didn't want it. And finally, one day, one of my buddies was like, dude, stop doing that. Like you're the best player on the team, man. Right. Just own it. I'm like, no, but he's like, dude, you're the best player, man. But that was just always hard for me. Cause I didn't, you know, I didn't want to be like separate or like feel like, you know, I was above other people. That's interesting
because I was totally the opposite, right?
Yeah.
You know, back in the late 70s, early 80s, you know, my grandfather was bald, and so I always had a buzz cut. Mm-hmm. And this is back in the days where everybody had the feather and the long hair, and I always come in buzz cut. When we moved to Iowa when I was in the 3rd grade, you know, I came in buzz cut. You know, my mom did it, you know, and people looking at me like, you know, and so I was always, and I had 3 older brothers, so I could ball, you know, so, hey, I was the guy who wanted to stand out and be different.
Yeah.
You know, and I have all my life, but that's the interesting thing. I wouldn't have guessed that of you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I knew I was good, but I didn't want other people to
very humble
think that, and you know, and I didn't want my teammates to feel less than. Yeah. I mean,
I didn't care. They all called me an asshole. Probably throw me the ball. I'm the point.
Like it was to the point going into 8th grade. My coach actually, who was also the principal of school, he brought me to his office. He's like, "Hey, we lost a lot of guys last year. Like you're the guy. Like, are you going to be able to handle that?" Like he literally, I was like, yeah. He's like, no, like there's going to be nights where we're going to need you to score 30 or maybe 40 points, and which is going to require a level of selfishness. Like, are you going to be able to do that? And I'm like, yeah, I can do it. And, you know, I did, but it was hard.
Sure.
It was hard. Yeah, it was hard. But yeah, it was that's how much I did not want like all of that because of my like it was a people pleasing thing that I developed, but wanting to be relatable to the rest of the guys on the team. I didn't want to be the guy that stood above the so it was kind of a false you know, inauthentic type of scenario at that age. You know, obviously at that time I didn't realize that was going on. I thought I was doing the, you know, the noble thing, but you know,
hey, being the best that's Mamba mentality right there. That's Mamba mentality right there. Absolutely.
Yeah. So so speaking of, I just brought up being like inauthentic. What would you say, or is there a difference, or can you notice the difference between like authenticity versus someone that's like oversharing?
Give me an example.
You know, like the person that like, because I really want to get, so I'm telling you, you know, all kinds of things about my life. You know, like things that I don't know you that well that I probably shouldn't be sharing. Yeah, but I'm sharing it with you in an effort to.
Yeah. You know, no, I think those people are trying to be as authentic as possible. There's too much information.
You think they're trying to be?
I think so. Okay. Right. And I think that they're really wanting to be relatable to people. And that's why they're throwing it all out there. You know, there's I have, I know Coach has, I mean, people will, you know, verbally vomit all over you, you know, and you're just like, all right. Okay. You know, and there's pieces in there that you and I can both relate to, maybe not to that degree, right? But then we're like, I'm kind of there with you, but you know, again, 20 years ago, I'd have been like, sat and listened to it. Now I'll be like, whoa, I don't need to know that.
Make them feel bad, kid.
Right. You know, or hey, I don't know if we know each other well enough for you to be throwing that on there.
Yeah.
You know, you might want to talk to your priest about that.
Yeah. I think I think there are some cases I think where people are like authentically trying to connect. But I think in some of those cases, I think is people that are like looking for some kind of pity or something like that. So it is a hard thing to tell, whether people are doing that for a genuine, authentic purpose. Like I'm genuinely trying to connect with you. So I feel like sharing this information.
Yeah. So I know a business owner who chooses to work all the time and long, late hours all the time. And this guy's business is not in the same town as, he's got to go from, from McHenry County over to Lake County to get home. Right.
Okay.
And this person, would always be like, I was here till midnight last night. I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's your business. Right. I'm like, that's what a business owner does.
Right.
But a business owner shouldn't sit here and complain about it.
Right.
That's your choice. You could have left at 5. Right. That was, as a business owner myself,
you set your own hours.
It's like a baker going, oh, I had to get up at 3. Well, yeah, you had to make the donuts, bro. This is what you do. You know what I mean? So that it's those people I have a hard time being relatable with. But I think if you win in business, you have to be relatable to 90% of the people out there.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
And perhaps that business owner would tell me that because I'm a business owner as well. But I would look at them and I'd just shake my head and say, but that's your choice.
Right.
You got to go home, see your family. Maybe don't sit out in the shop and talk for 7 hours. I don't know,
Right. Yeah. No, that's funny.
But you see it so much of that,
Yeah.
A great friend, Mike Krejci, God love this man, right? He's a plumber, but he doesn't come, when we hang out, he's not like, well, I smell like shit because I was in a sewer all day.
Right.
He doesn't do that.
Right.
Like, bro, but that's where you make your money, right? So he doesn't do that, right? So if you love your job and you love who you are and you want to be relatable, you can't look for sympathy if you want to be relatable. I think, right, because look, you're driving a $75,000 brand new pickup truck, and you're going to complain to me that you were here till midnight. I drive a 2003. You understand? I pay cash for it. I don't want to hear it.
Right.
Good for you. Well, you got to pay that thing. That's your job. Whatever.
Right.
So I'm very the sympathy part of too much information is don't try to pull at my heartstrings and give me sympathy.
Right.
Because that'll push me away faster than anything.
Right.
I don't care. Right. The other thing that'll push me that I cannot relate with is, and this happens in business all the time. This happens in this business all the time. Oh, I'll tell you how to do your job. I'll tell you how to raise your son. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, everybody can do my job better than me. Everybody can raise my family better than me, right? So I try to be, like when I'm talking with coaches, that's why parents ask, I go, that's his program.
Right.
I think he's doing a good job, right? Or she's doing a good job. Right. It's not the same philosophy that, I can sit in the third row of the bleachers and criticize Gino Auriemma and Don Staley all day. Right. Coach K all day. Doesn't make much sense for me to do that. Right. But because that's not my philosophy. That's not my program.
Right.
You know what I mean? Hey, let's, take a look at John Shire.
Mm-hmm.
Best team all year.
Yep.
Best team all year. 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
Guess who's upset? John Shire is upset.
Yeah.
Right? So I can sit here and go, hey, John, maybe quit trying to get the one and dones. but it's a whole different landscape now, right?
Yeah.
And I don't coach at a D1. I don't have his talent. I don't have the the ability that he has. So as a junior college, I can say, hey man, stop it. Right. When I can take a look at this year and 3/4 of my team is all transfers. You understand? So don't that'll push me away. And I can't do that because I don't know. I've never walked in your shoes. Right. So I can't tell you. I can't tell you how to raise your son. I can't tell you how to do your job. I can't tell you any of that. Right.
Yeah.
However, I will collaborate with you.
Yeah.
I'm open to collaboration. Right. When I get together with another coach, hey, let's talk X's and O's and philosophies and how do you do this? Man, I saw you do this. Right. So in our conference, I get along with every coach because we're doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I ask them questions like, man, you kick our ass every year. What, and they'll give you some nuggets. They ain't going to give you the secret sauce,
Right.
but they're going to give you some nuggets, right? Because I want to get better. And, and I was talking with one of the coaches. And I told him, I said, man, you're one of my measuring sticks. I go, I ain't been close to beat. I think the closest we've been is 18 points.
Jeez.
You beat us by 50 one year, right?
Holy
hey, they look, we couldn't hit the floor if we fell, and they shot 75% from the threes. How you gonna stop that, right? I mean, they looked at the basket and the scoreboard went up. Clink, clink, clink. Right? And it wasn't, and he and I get along great. He wasn't trying to run it up. They just couldn't miss.
Right.
And we couldn't make anything.
Yeah.
Right. So, I'm like, you're one of my measuring sticks. When I beat you, I'm going to celebrate. Right. So the last time we played, I was like, okay, I think we're going to get him. And so I said, all right, steak dinner and golf. Loser pays. I owe him steak dinner and golf. Right. But we played well. We lost by 18. That was the closest we've ever been to him, but at the same time, that to me, that's improvement, right?
From 50
and so,
to 18,
so he and I will talk all the time offline throughout the year, and he's good. It's all you can say, right? Does he run his program the way I run mine? No, but I can take things from him. But he doesn't tell me how to do my job.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Right?
Well, yeah, and so what you were just talking about, like for all of our listeners out there, one of the things you can take from that, like you're talking about how people, you don't want to just go to somebody and like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's the asking questions part that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So if you do feel like you have good advice for somebody and you want to be more relatable, you ask those questions and then you ask those follow-up questions. Tell me more. I want to know more about that. And before you give any suggestions or advice, ask for permission.
Yeah.
Hey, Jadar, hey, I feel like I have a little bit more understanding based on everything you just told me from, what I was asking you. Do you mind if I give you some feedback or,
9 times out of 10, no, go ahead.
Yeah. And 9 times, cool. But after you've opened that door, right. Because even if he didn't necessarily want your advice, you sitting there and, taking those questions or asking those questions and them answering, then them feeling like, okay, they're really asking me. They'll be more open to the suggestions versus if you tell them, because you may tell them and they just smile. Oh man, great, thank you, I appreciate that. They're not taking it.
Hey, I just realized we're real two ball guys right now.
Got some shine going on.
That's it. We are two ball guys now.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Yeah. Instead of me just coming up and go, well, he was my son.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he ain't. So shut up.
Yeah, absolutely.
With 3 daughters and a son,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Now my oldest daughter, she's like, you're so easy on the 2 younger ones. I'm like, no, I didn't know. Now she's got a boy of her own, right?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, here we go.
Now what?
Hey, okay. Yeah, let's see how you work this one out. That's right. But it's I think the key to winning in life is being able to be relatable, however that may be or look. Because if you're on an island by yourself, it's tough. it's tough in any avenue in life, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So if you can give like one piece of advice that or one thing that you feel like this would be a real big key
Yeah.
for being relatable, what would that be?
Being on time. Oh, hey Tom. All right. Well,
Messages help too.
I literally was like, oh hey man, we're gonna be there to record. He's like, it'd be nice if you add me to the text. I don't know. Anyway, that's Tom, of course, from Tom's Productions. Check him out, tomsproductions.com. You're thinking he'll link it on all your printing and decorated apparel needs. I don't know. I was close. We were good there. I said it right at the beginning of the show. Shut up.
You're nervous now.
I'm not relatable. Right. The boss is here. So what was the question?
What's one thing that people could do tomorrow to become or to make it easier to connect with other people? So what's one thing people could do tomorrow to become easier in connecting with?
I think want to.
Love that.
Right. Because we're so glued into our phones. We're so glued into everything other than wanting to relate or connect.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I get upset when I let somebody in traffic and they don't give me the courtesy wave. Right. I mean, I'm like, seriously, dude, we're on 60. I let you in here. You know, otherwise you're waiting.
Right.
And you didn't even give me a courtesy wave, right?
That kind of grinds my gears too.
Right? I can't relate because every time I do, I'll put the window down, even the window. Like, hey,
I do the same thing.
yeah.
I want them to know.
Yeah.
I recognize you did something nice for me.
And so, but I think so many people don't want to relate with people or be relatable. And that's why they hide behind their keyboard or their thumbs.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, there's no more. Hey, no, look, you only got 2 things in the self checkout, and I've got a basket. Go ahead in front of me. Most people are like, no, I've been waiting. That's mine.
Right.
Right. I don't care if you know. So I think that the biggest thing is you have to want to be relatable, and a genuine, as I said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
genuinely, you have to want to be relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, you know, how do you do that? Talk to people, right? You know, read body language.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. That's a real important thing. Yeah, I guess we don't have time to talk about that, nor are we experts at that.
That's right.
But yeah, I love that. You do have to like genuinely want to learn about other people, you know, connect with other people. And like I was saying earlier, and I think all of us in some different way have talked about it, is, you know, asking those questions to people specific to them, like genuine questions, and asking those follow-up questions to get clarity on what people are talking about. That way they know that you're interested. And then that's how you can make those connections, because people will be open to learning more about you when you're, you know, asking those questions to find out about them.
Yeah. Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul. He's got his rules, his 10 rules. Mm-hmm. And the last one is become a good storyteller.
Yeah.
Right. And to be in order to be relatable is, I may not be relatable to you, but if I listen to some of your stuff, I then have a story.
Yeah.
Right. Like, hey man, I met this one guy, he's a baller, but he didn't like, so there's a story, and you have to be a good storyteller, because that, Coach is wonderful at it. Right. Ron was wonderful at it. Pete was really good at it. Right. So, I mean, there's, I think you become relatable when you're a good storyteller, because then, like we were talking about the comedian, picking themselves apart, they're going to make fun of themselves, where you go, you can relate with that.
Yeah.
So I think, also just being a really good storyteller, but it has to be good stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It can't be like, listen, does this look like cancer? Because I was at a, like what? Right?
But if you're good, you can make it
Hey,
interesting.
you can.
You can make it interesting.
So but there has to be that. The story's got to be the right story.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And another thing that came to mind and something I was listening to earlier, within listening to somebody else's story, you want to look for that common connection. Like one of the examples that I heard a while ago, the guy he was asking this guy questions. He was asking him about his watch, and he was like, what type of watches are you into? The guy was like Rolexes, and he's like, oh, tell me more. And so the guy started talking, and it turns out it wasn't about the Rolex. It was about his desire to prove that he could earn enough money that he can win. And so the guy who was asking the questions was like, yeah, that's just like me. And he started telling his story.
Yeah.
But the connection was, they both had something that they wanted to prove to someone else. So it's not even necessarily the specific, like what, they're talking, like I was talking about the students at school, and I'll ask them, and they'll start talking about, some weird video game or whatever. It's them talking about something of interest, and then that emotion that they're tapping into. And, you can even feed off of that and bring up something that has that same level of emotion. Oh, you know what? I get that same feeling when I play, boom, boom, boom. And, now you've got something that, hey, we can both relate to.
Yep.
We've got hobbies that we're really into. So I know I can come because if I ask you about your hobbies and you're excited, and then you can get excited about, hey, you told me about what you do.
Yeah.
And so that's just another way that you can connect with people. It's not sticking to the surface of the story, but
those couple questions.
Finding those couple questions to find what is the meaning behind whatever that thing you're asking about.
Yeah, that's why I always say, what's your story?
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? Everybody's got a story. What's yours? And they start talking to you. And then my next question is, well, what's your dream? Right? And these young kids are like, what? I'm like, no, well, I mean, what's your dream? Oh, I want to be in the NBA or whatever. Okay. How you going to get there?
By eating elephants.
Right. Yeah, right. And then they're like, what? Ain't nobody ever asked how you going to get there? Well, why are you asking me this? Because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Hey, you're in my living room right now. I God put you here, so let's figure this out. But nobody's ever asked you. No, nobody's ever asked. Oh, well, let's talk about it. It takes work, right? So, everybody, I got to know, two young women real well over this spring as they drove back and forth to practice with Lucy and I, right? Same thing. Tell me your story, And there's this one young lady is brilliant. She is, 6'2", right? And she is the funniest thing, right? I'm like, you should be a comedian. She's like, people have told me that. I'm like, yep, because you got some weird stories. I see. And her dream is to be a sports announcer, a sports broadcaster.
Okay.
And so she wants the mic. I said, well, I like that, but if you like that mic, you can make some money because you're funny. Yeah. And where she's going, most people say I'm weird. I go, I know. That's what makes you funny.
A lot of times we got, we got some kids at school, like they don't realize how funny they are.
Yeah.
And they're not trying to be, but
right.
My God.
Oh, good delivery, the timing, everything. And you're just like, you're so bizarre. I mean, this is good. And I don't think anybody's ever told her. A lot of people say you're funny, you should be a comedian.
Right.
But we've had time to drive as we're driving back and forth to the gym. That I could dig a little bit.
Right.
And find out. And you find out. As an old guy, I'm 40 years older than these young women. So what's relatable?
Right.
But we found in the travel time, there's a lot of relatability.
Yeah. If you're willing to be open, you can find something.
Yeah.
With pretty much anybody.
Yeah. But I do like what you say about, you gotta, hey, what do you do? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Here's my card. Right. Oh, tell me more. What got you into that?
Right.
I think you, me, Coach Scott, probably Tom as well, is we look for, hey, we're going to be around for the next whatever time, or we're going to be part of this group or whatever the case may be. I don't want it to be awkward, so
Right.
however, Tom will vouch it's usually awkward with me, because I make it that way.
You're that guy.
Yeah. So
All right. Well, is that about our time? I don't know. What time did we start?
yeah, we're getting close. You were right at the hour. Yeah, we're right there. We're right there. Hey, of course we are
Two
bald guys and a microphone, literally. Yes, sir. Of course, shout out to Tom's Productions. Check them out at tomsproductions.com. You think it, he'll link it on all your printing and decorated apparel needs. This guy can do everything. These tumblers, the hats. You can put your name on a microphone, a pen, even ducks. I heard that he made today some ducks for people, which is great. And of course, our good friend over at Health Markets, health insurance, life insurance, Medicare, care subs. These things are not easy waters to navigate. If you need help or if you have questions, your small business, look to partner with as many people as we can. Give Kent Jones a call, 815-861-0294. And, we heard Coach say what Coach says in the middle of the show.
Yep.
So, look, our next show, we're talking about lightheartedness.
Yes.
We're trying to get a guest in who works at Second City.
That's a fun place.
Yeah. So improv guy, a funny guy. We're going to try to get him in here. He is busy, but if we can sneak him in, it's going to be awesome. So stick around, because the second episode of this month, the third week in June, we're going to be talking about lightheartedness. It's going to be fun. It's going to be funny. So stick around.
Living it loud, two bald guys, we're making you proud, breaking down barriers, united.